clearly?
Yes, clearly audible.
Namaskar to all of you, respected Dr. Kailash Chandra Mahana, sir, esteemed Chaya Consulting, sir. I am very happy, sir is present with us. Radhanath Behra, sir, and my students who are present here, and some will be joining. So we shall start in time. No speaker was available, therefore I decided to deliver a talk on this topic, which is not discussed before, and generally it is not discussed anywhere. We always discuss about knowledge, the scope of knowledge, limitation of knowledge, possibility of knowledge, achievement of knowledge, attainment of the highest knowledge, but hardly we discuss about the realm of ignorance. But philosophers, both in East and West, they have discussed this in details. In Indian philosophy, there is a lot of discussion about the realm of ignorance. In the contemporary philosophy, Sri Aurobindo has highlighted the realm of ignorance very comprehensively. And in Western philosophy, Bacon starts his philosophy from the idols, the limitation of a human inquiry, human mind, human understanding. Descartes starts his philosophy from doubting, and Kant starts his philosophy by criticism, from the criticism. So, ignorance is not ignored in our pursuit of wisdom. We have never ignored, and we should not ignore the realm of ignorance. That is the beauty of a human understanding. That is the beauty of education, that we should know how far we are really educated, how far we are really, similarly, how far you are really ignorant. What is the limit of our knowledge? What we do not know, that we should know. We should be aware of that. Many times we become complacent, become very happy having some degrees like PhD or holding some posts like professors, etc. And we think that we are knowledgeable, that we have scaled the height of intelligence, knowledge, wisdom, perfection. But that is nothing but illusion. Therefore, very beautifully it is said by Sri Aurobindo that our knowledge of island is surrounded by the vast ocean of ignorance. This is the reality. What we say knowledge, that is nothing but a small island, and this has been surrounded by the vast ocean of ignorance. We should know that. We should not be satisfied with our limited knowledge. That is the motto of our life. That should be the goal of our life. That at least we should know the limitation of our knowledge. So this is the message that I am trying to give, trying to explain from different perspectives. First thing is, who is discussing that and who are listening to this lecture? We are all human beings. I shall say something and you will listen to me. You will say something, I shall listen to. I shall listen to all of you. We are writing books. We are discussing in different forums. But after all, we are all human beings. So, if man is the center of knowledge, that man himself is the bracket of knowledge. Here comes the human perspective. Yes, this world is envisioned in the perspective of a man, whoever he may be. He may be Einstein, he may be anybody else. But that is a human mind, that is a human brain. And according to that brain, something is explained. If man is the center of all knowledge, man is the center of all wisdom, that man himself is the bracket, is the boundary, is the limitation. This is the human interference into the reality. Reality does not need any type of interpretation, any type of explanation, any type of a description. Nature does not wait for our appreciation. Nature does not need for any philosophy of nature. We human beings try to know something, try to explain something, try to interpret something, and give different types of arguments, write books, and even contradict ourselves. I shall say something, this will not be accepted by others. Others will say something that will not be accepted by us, and it is natural because our knowledge is not complete, cannot be complete. So when knowledge is incomplete, so conflict will remain constant. There will be conflict because our knowledge is not complete. Many minds, many thoughts, many philosophers, many, therefore there are many philosophies, philosophical systems are there. One system contradicts with another system. Even scientific discoveries are also not constant. They are subject to revision, they are subject to correction, they are modified, they are corrected in the course of time. That means we are living in a world of relativity, and also in the knowledge of relativity. So epistemologically and ontologically, we are relative by nature. We can't have that absolute knowledge, and we can't have the access to the absolute reality. Whatever we say, that is only speculation. Even if we say scientifically, that is also a type of speculation when it is proved that yes, something better theory has been discovered. So this is proved to be speculative by nature, and we have to accept this reality, and there is nothing to be feel sorry about this, because if we accept our limitation, then we can accept the consequence of our limitation. Yes, this should be. This is very natural. When we do not accept this, we feel sorry, we suffer, we have ego problem, we conflict between each other, and that is how we have different types of philosophy, philosophical systems, debates, discussions, etc. So what is the fact actually? I always wonder that we are living with our preoccupied thoughts, which are given to us by our parents, by the society, by our teachers, by the scriptures. That is preoccupied because we have occupied those thoughts. And somehow or other, we are also very much innovative. We think, we create new thoughts, and we try to demonstrate those thoughts with the learned people. We discuss them, we write them in the books, and that is how also we give a scope for the expansion of knowledge. But is it knowledge? That is the question. The sum total of knowledge, whatever we have till the date, is it the total knowledge, or still we are in ignorance? So what is that totality? It is the totality of knowledge or the totality of ignorance? This very question is meaningful for the man only, because ignorance and knowledge, there is no such word at all. It is discussed only for man. You are ignorant or you are knowledgeable. We don't say that a dog is ignorant, a dog is knowledgeable. Man is ignorant or man is knowledgeable. Then comes quantity, how much you know. Then comes quality, how clearly you know something. So there is a gap between understanding. There is a gap between knowledge of one person and the knowledge of others. We say that he is an expert, he is a resource person, he is a great scientist. So when we take the knowledge of that great scientist and you go and ask him, do you think that your knowledge is absolute knowledge? He will say no. Whatever I am saying, this is according to my vision, my research, and that may be changed tomorrow. That means there is a scope for changing. There is a scope for change. There is scope for modification. We have to accept this much. So school knowledge, college knowledge we gain from college, universities, research, everything that cannot be the complete knowledge. Sri Aurobindo very beautifully has divided 7 types of ignorance. I have just noted that. Just I am discussing these 7 types of ignorance so we can have a very common idea of our ignorance. Sri Aurobindo is saying that the first ignorance is self-ignorance. Self-ignorance. That means we are ignorant of our own self. We do not know our own identity. We take ourselves as something else, somebody else. We are ignorant of our own self. We take partial fact of a being, temporary relations of the becoming for the whole truth of existence. The original, this is called our original ignorance. That means we are not sure about our own self. Who am I? We are misguided by our wrong identification. So this is a self-ignorance. Then he is talking about cosmic ignorance. We are ignorant of spaceless, timeless, immobile, and immutable self. That is cosmic ignorance. The cosmos that we see all around us, we take it to be granted, but this is not really that what we see. This is spaceless, timeless, immobile. This is immutable. But we are satisfied with the world that comes within our purview, within our vision. The third one is egoistic ignorance. We are ignorant of our universal self, cosmic existence, infinite unity with all beings and becomings. This is called egoistic ignorance. That means in the first two, we are ignorant of our own nature. In the second, we are ignorant of the cosmic nature. In the third, Sri Aurobindo is saying, we are ignorant of our relation with nature, with our cosmos. That means we are ignorant of the unity, that I am not different from the nature. This much we do not have. We do not know. We fail to know the identity between myself and nature. This is also our ignorance. And we are satisfied with our egoistic mentality, vitality, for our true self. We take that is our true self. Whatever I am thinking, whatever I am feeling, whatever I am sensing, that is my egoistic nature, and that is my nature. But this is our ignorance. Then temporal ignorance. Fourth one is temporal ignorance. We are ignorant of eternal becoming in time. Eternal becoming in time means, first of all, we have to accept that we have a becoming. We have a being and we are becoming. Becoming means there is a growth in our being. There is a movement. Our body is growing. Our mind is getting matured. This is all the sign of a movement. We are moving. That means we are becoming something day by day. Every day our cells are changing. Our cells are getting transformed. Our consciousness is also getting transformed. We are becoming a better version day by day. So that is becoming. So being and becoming, they are eternal. Eternally they are becoming. So we do not know the beginning and the ending point. We are in the middle state of becoming. And but ignorantly we take that partial becoming as the whole becoming. This is called temporal becoming. Psychological ignorance. The fifth one is psychological ignorance. We take our temporary psychological feelings as our whole being. Temporary. Temporarily, I appreciate somebody. Somebody looks beautiful or handsome. I am pleased with somebody for some reasons. These are all temporary psychological feelings. But we take that to be granted. Therefore, people commit suicide. What happened for a moment, that is not permanent. Mind will change tomorrow. So we should not be worried about a temporary sensation, a temporary feelings, a temporary impression, temporary name and fame. We should not be disturbed by our temporary psychological setup, mindset. But that is the problem today. In the entire series of life, sometimes we think that my life is meaningless. I shall not live. I shall commit suicide. That means the whole life should not be mistaken to a temporary moment, a momentary feelings, a momentary sensation, a momentary enjoyment or suffering. That is the psychological ignorance, that we should know the possibility of our psychic elevation. Then constitutional ignorance, that is the sixth one. Here we are ignorant of our true constituent of our becoming. We take the mind or life or body or all these three for our true principle. We always think that three things are there: body, life, and mind, that constitute me. No, this is not also true. I am not my body, I am not my mind, I am not my life, I am that consciousness. We are ignorant of our own identity, that I am that pure consciousness. If I am this body, then this body is getting changed. Then what body is me? The child body is me, or the young body is me, or the old body is me. So I am not my body, but we always confuse that. We always think that. We mistake that. Suppose sometimes we are very intelligent, we take that state as our identity, that I am very intelligent, I am a man of knowledge, man of wisdom. But next moment we feel sorry, we feel disheartened, and we feel disappointed. So that is not constant. Everything is subject to change, becoming. So we are ignorant of our constituent parts, body, mind, and spirit. And the seventh one, that is very important, that is practical ignorance. Sri Aurobindo is claiming, because of these six ignorance, we fail to live in this life practically, pragmatically. We are engaged in false enjoyment. We take life as meaningless, insignificant, because of these six ignorance. So this is the seventh ignorance, that is the practical ignorance. That means the practical life that we live, that is really ignored by these previous six ignorances. That means we do not live our life. We are just passing our time. Service is over, retirement comes. Retirement life is also not so good, because we think that we are just managing with the agenda of life, and this is my life. This is called Khanda Jivan, the part life. So we mistake the total possibility of becoming to our part life. That this is my life, and this is the becoming. The service is temporary. This is an accident. Accidentally, I am a teacher. I may be an engineer. So this is not my real identity. Retirement will come because there is a service rule. So retirement is also not a fact of life. That should not be. We should not be so disheartened by retirement. Similarly, old age is very natural. So we have deep understanding of our becoming. We should not halt at a place to feel sorry that this old age came to me and I shall be disheartened, and this is the cause of my suffering. So the last part, that is the practical ignorance, that is very important. Sri Aurobindo is saying that we should live our life with full of consciousness, with full maturity of our mind, our understanding, with full enjoyment. If we fail to live our life, then the life becomes really meaningless. And how is it possible? It is possible that we should know the limitation of our knowledge. We should not be complacent. We should not be over satisfied. We should not be so even possessive about our gained knowledge. This is what Sri Aurobindo says. In Upanishad also, it is said that avidya is better than vidya. In Isha Upanishad, in the 9th verse, it is said that avidya is better than vidya. That in that verse it is said, if you worship avidya, you will enter into darkness, the world of darkness. But if you worship knowledge, then you will enter into the greater darkness. What is the real meaning of this? Here, vidya means apara vidya. Vidya is of two types. One is para vidya, that is the perfect knowledge, the knowledge of the absolute. And apara vidya means the vidya that is gained through scriptures, gained through different sources. These are not meaningless, but they have they are empirical knowledge. They are empirical knowledge. That is, they are vyavaharika jnana. So when we live our practical life and we apply our knowledge, for example, in the marketplace, we can only apply the knowledge that is suitable for that market. But when we come back to our home, we cannot apply that knowledge. But the knowledge that we apply in our classroom, we do not apply that before our wife. She will get angry that you keep that in your classroom. Before me, you are husband. So don't behave with me like a professor. That means in different places, we exercise our empirical knowledge as per the practical necessity. But that is not the absolute knowledge. Similarly, misguidance is also aparavidya. Somebody will misguide me, somebody will give me a wrong address, then I shall be misled. I shall not reach at my destination. So misguidance is worse than not guidance. You may not guide somebody, but never misguide anybody. Avidya is better because avidya is a zero mind, where there is a chance for knowledge, because no knowledge has been preoccupied. If you, I am giving another example. Neutral mind is better than a preoccupied mind. Suppose we say that I am a Hindu. or I am a Muslim, or I am a Christian. That means I have a preoccupied vision. I myself bracket to a particular religion, to a particular belief. And by that, I am living my whole life. I don't become neutral. That means that my knowledge has bracketed me. But if I am in avidya, I am free. I am zero mind. I have no idea. And in that, I am giving another example. Suppose I do not know the address. I am waiting for a person who will give me the perfect address, and I am waiting for a really a gentle person. Then I am safe. If somebody will give me a wrong address, that becomes knowledge. Knowledge means the address of knowledge of that address. And I went in a wrong direction for suppose 20 kilometers or 50 kilometers, and then I inquired about the real address. Then I have to come back to the previous position, to that avidya, to that zero state. Then we have to move in another direction to reach at my destination. In PhD thesis, it is also very much required. If your supervisor does not guide you, that is good. But if he misguides you, your entire thesis will be collapsed. So don't be misguided by your teachers, don't be misguided by your scriptures, don't be misguided by your religions, don't be misguided by your society. You should have a neutral mind, and that is how you can prove that you are really rational. Otherwise, you are not rational, you are a follower. A philosopher should not be a follower. A rational man should not be a follower, he should be a thinker, original thinker. So original thinking can come out of avidya when I am a zero state of mind. I know nothing. As John Locke said, that mind is a tabula rasa. It is a clean slate. It is a clean chamber, empty chamber. Nothing is written in it. But gradually I perceive everything and conceptualize everything, and I make my knowledge system, belief system. So that should be our attitude, and that is called learning attitude. We should have learning attitude. We should not have an attitude to follow somebody else. Followers of Buddha, followers of Mahavira Jina, followers of Hinduism, followers of no follower. A man should not be a follower. A man should be rational. So avidya is better than vidya in that sense, and it is said in Upanishad in the ninth. Clean slate of mind. That means every inquiry is possible. In Bhagavad Gita, it is called Sthita Prajna. You should have your mind to be steady. You should not be biased by the dialectics of pleasure, pain, name, fame, defame, profit, loss, defeat, winning. No, your mind is neutral. Then you will never be confused in performing duty. And that was the problem of Arjuna in the battlefield. So, Vidya is the highest, Vidya is the perfect. That is good. But if you do not reach at that state, at least you don't be misguided by wrong knowledge. That is worse than avidya, no knowledge. I don't know swimming. Good, I admit that. So I shall never enter into water. But I don't know swimming, but I am entering into water. It is dangerous. If I do not know, that is good. Similarly, in interview, what happened when in interview we are asked questions, both in written and viva, there is a minus marking. If you give wrong answer, you will get minus marking. Why? What does it mean? It means that if you do not know, don't say. Rather, you speak to your student that I shall tell you tomorrow by preparation. One should not hesitate to say like this, because nobody is a final, complete learned person. An honest teacher should take time to give the right answer to the students. He should not misguide. Therefore, if you give a wrong answer in interview or in a written test, you will be penalized with minus marking. That means if you know, then say. If you do not know, don't say. That means you don't. That means there is a tendency in you that you can misguide your students just by doing your duty in your classroom, that I taught and I covered for 12 minutes. Don't do in that way. So in that sense, ignorance is not useless. And very beautifully, Aurobindo says that ignorance is not the absence of knowledge. This is generally understood. We all understand ignorance means it is the absence of knowledge. Sri Aurobindo very beautifully claiming that ignorance is not the absence of knowledge. He is saying ignorance is a degree of knowledge. It is a state of knowledge. Ignorance is a state of knowledge. There are different degrees of knowledge. There are different layers of consciousness. And the topmost layer is the pure consciousness, the integral state of consciousness. And the bottom, that is called ignorance. But the bottom and the top, they are one and the same. They are one and the same. But in the measurement of a human understanding, we are just using the word that this is ignorance and this is knowledge. In another way, he is explaining. In whatever layer of consciousness you are landing, that is nothing but a state of ignorance. Because there is another possibility of a higher state of knowledge. Suppose I am in the middle state, middle layer of consciousness. I am not so in bottom or so in top. I am in a, suppose there are 10 steps. I am in the step 5. And I claim that step 5 is the step of knowledge. But Aurobindo says it is also the step of ignorance, because there is a step 6. Then the step 6 is also a state of ignorance, because there is step 7. So how can you say that you gained the complete knowledge, you have the complete awareness, you have the complete consciousness? The consciousness you have or you are enjoying, that is only a partial consciousness, and ignorance is nothing but our partial understanding, our partial consciousness. It is not total absence of knowledge. That is, technically he is using the word nescience. Science and nescience. Science is the highest knowledge. It's science, vijnana, and this is nescience, ignorance. So ignorance is given this type of status in Indian philosophy and also in Western philosophy, when Bacon is saying, Francis Bacon is saying that there are 4 types of idols, 4 types of mistakes that human beings commit. And one is called idols of the tribe. That means the human understanding itself is a false mirror. We see the world through the mirror of our mind. So we interpret the world as per the makeup of our mind. This is the human constitution. This is the human nature. We cannot escape it. And how can we become a true philosopher without understanding these conditions? Whatever we think, whenever we are looking to the world, we are looking through the false mirror of our own understanding. This is called idols of tribe. Then he's saying idols of a cave, problems of individuals, their passions, ideology. Suppose you are saying something, then whatever you are saying, that is colored by, decorated by, designed by your thinking, your ideology, your passion, your love, your attachment, your detachment, your likes and dislikes. Then ideology of a marketplace due to false interaction. Yes, marketplace. Whatever you are saying according to your association, with whom you are associated. That is called Sangha dosha. That is called Sangha dosha. Therefore, satsanga is necessary. If a young boy is claiming something, is demanding something, it is only because of the association with his friends. So, with whom you are associated, with whom you are passing your time, we are discussing, that also influence your thought. And ideology of theater, that is very interesting. And Bacon says that your textbooks, your scriptures, your classroom teaching, your wisdom, philosophical interpretations, they also influence you. So we have to be free from all these conditions. This is the thought of a Western thinker. So Western people also think that we should be aware of our ignorance. After Bacon came Descartes. Descartes also started his philosophy by doubting everything, that everything can be doubted. We should doubt everything to reach at the certainty. So doubting cannot be ignored. We can doubt. We should start philosophy by doubting everything. We should not accept everything as it is. If we are really rational, we should have a doubting mindset. And after that, we shall reach at the certainty. But what happened in both the schools of empiricism and rationalism, they ended their philosophy with dogmatic conclusions. Dogmatic conclusions. After all types of endeavors. What is that dogmatic conclusion? Empiricist philosophers claim that sense experience is the only source of knowledge. After doing all types of exercise, philosophical exercise, starting from doubts, they rationalist philosophers claim that reason is the only source of knowledge. Our mind is everything. Mind is the only source of knowledge. So, so, so what is this? That means we are so educated. We are reading in good universities, studying in good universities. We have teaching experience of 50 years. We have written so many books. We are great philosophers, but finally we are giving a dogmatic conclusion. Man gives a dogmatic conclusion at the end. Then the whole life is useless. So the rationalist philosophers, they claim that reason is the only source of knowledge. They bypassed, overlooked the possibility of empiricism, the sense experience. Empiricist philosophers, they gave importance to that sense experience is the only source of knowledge. Mind has no role. There is no mind at all. Mind has no role in the knowledge system. In the knowledge process, mind has no role. Then came Immanuel Kant, who reconciled both these systems, and he claimed that both mind, reason, and sense experience constitute knowledge. We cannot avoid anyone. We need sense experience because that is the first encounter, first meeting. We meet the world through sense experience. Then we conceptualize them, these collected sense data, through different categories of understanding. Like that, he said. But he also failed to comprehend the total reality. What he concluded? He concluded that by the best use of your mind and by the best use of your sense experience, you can know only the phenomenal world. You cannot know the nominal world because the very structure of your knowing is subject to the phenomenal world. You cannot know the reality. You can know only that appears to us. Then how can we reach at the ultimate reality, and how can we claim that we have knowledge of something? Therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita, with knowledge, there is a scope for faith. There is a scope for faith because knowledge cannot accommodate the whole reality. If we have to live happily, somehow or other, we have to open our rooms for faith. That is called bhakti. That is called shraddha. Many times we have to many things in life because life is so complex. The reality is so complex. Only Jnana Yoga cannot do everything. We have to use our bhakti marga. We have to use our shraddha. That is faith. So knowledge and faith coexist because human knowledge is limited. We know that faith is irrational. Faith is personal. Faith is unscientific. We know that. And we know that whatever we know, that may be scientific. But in spite of that, we take both for the complete personality, for something, at least some satisfaction that yes, I can have a good knowledge, good idea about the reality if I take both jnana and vishwas. That means knowledge and faith. So by faith, religion started, and by knowledge, science started, and combined with the combination of these two, we are doing our karma yoga. So karma yoga is enriched with jnana and bhakti. Now, if it is only through jnana, it is misleading. If it is only through bhakti, it may be misleading. So karma should be enriched with both jnana and shraddha, jnana and faith, jnana and bhakti. This is Bhagavad Gita. And the first chapter starts with Arjuna Visada Yoga. That is the state of ignorance. Visada comes from ignorance. So Bhagavad Gita has also acknowledged the state of ignorance. Yes, that is ignorance. This is Arjuna's ignorance. Arjuna is so talented. Ignorance does not mean that somebody is uneducated. Ignorance really means you do not do in a situation what you should do. Being very much intelligent, somebody may be a great professor, but he is committing suicide. A doctor is committing suicide. A scientist is committing suicide. That means at a particular moment, he fails to address the situation. That is ignorance because you do not know your duty. You do not know what to do and what not to do. So ignorance in metaphysics, ignorance in epistemology, even ignorance in ethics, in moral philosophy also, in morality also, we should not hold one value forever, that I shall never tell lie. This is rejected. You may tell a lie for lokasangraha, for the betterment of others, for the benefit of others. So one should be contextual. One should be contextual. One should not be so fundamental, so reserved, holding a traditional value that one should not tell lie. So in ethics also we should be practical. Therefore today, the present day is the day of practical ethics, applied ethics. We are not now encouraging traditional ethics. Here we are encouraging our young mass to be practical in ethics. Suppose we know the traffic rule, but sometimes but when we are driving, we are addressing the real situation of the road, not according to the traffic manuals. So we have to address the situation of life according to the very situation, not according to the scriptures, not according to the manual. So how can it be possible? It is possible if we are not biased by our preoccupied thoughts, what we call knowledge. We should be very much critical about our knowledge. Yes, you know this, but you should be critical about what you know. Then that is real knowledge. To be critical about your knowledge is real knowledge. If you think that your knowledge is final, then you are lost. You are gone. Nobody will believe you. Nobody will care you. Nobody will pay respect. Even in family also. If the grandfather will say, I know everything, and he will not accept the young generation, the thought of, then they will be not given any respect. Out of order. So we have to cope with the present situation, present generation, with an empty mind. That may be called ignorance, but that ignorance is a bliss. That is a very, very beautiful quote. Sometimes ignorance is bliss. It is an ethical sense. Also, it has a negative meaning, but we should take it in a very positive sense. Ignorance is a bliss. That means we should avoid, we should ignore many things which are not required for our life. It is not necessary to know everything. It is not necessary to gossip about others. It is not necessary to know the bad qualities of all people with whom we are associated. Not necessary. Very aptly, very intelligently, we should ignore. We should ignore many things. Life is successful when we learn to ignore many things. Yes, I know that my daughter-in-law is doing this, but as a father-in-law, I should ignore. Many times we should ignore the faults of our child when they are grown up. Otherwise, there will be a family conflict. John Huspers, in the graduation course, the philosophy teachers must know. John Huspers made a difference between belief and knowledge. I believe something and I know something. He said, I believe P, that means P may not be true. I believe P means P may not be true. Yes, it is true. It is accepted. I believe. But when I use the word I know P, P means anything. I know P, then P must be true. This is a very famous discussion in Hospers. The distinction between belief and believing and knowing. Whenever in English literature also, when we use the word I believe, many times we say I believe. I believe. I believe means there is no guarantee that it must be true. This is a formal courtesy of saying, yes, yes, I believe, I believe. Believe and there is no risk. You are escaped. But when you say, I know his character is very good, then it is more certain, it is true. In that sense, we have understood Huspers. But here I reject that. I know P means P is true. No, that you know, and you claim that is true. Who are you to know? You are a man. You are this fellow. So your knowledge is not a truth claim. In what way Hospers said, that is a separate thing. But when now we are discussing about ignorance, can we say that I know this means this must be true? No. You know. You know means you must have some conditions. Just Bacon said, you may be affected by any one of the four idols, or you may be affected by any one of the seven types of ignorance, as Aurobindo said. So you know means that must be true, it is not accepted. So knowledge is not truth claim, truth in the absolute sense. But truth in the relative sense, it may be accepted. So whatever we know, we should be very much submissive. We should have a learning attitude. We should have a critical attitude. We should have a very neutral attitude to verify our knowledge, to accept the knowledge of others, to assimilate the knowledge of others, the experience of others. Then only we can live a very peaceful and successful life. Otherwise not. And that should be the attitude of a philosopher. That should be the attitude of a man of literature. That should be the attitude of every citizen, every man. If this is not the attitude, then that will be called your ego problem. And from ego, it is ignorance. Why you are ignorant? Because you are holding your ego, that you are the owner of your knowledge. You are the master of your knowledge, and you claim that your knowledge is final, and there is no subject, there is no chance for revision. And we are suffering from this type of situation in the present life, in the present society. Therefore, there is a clash between different type of religions. What is your religion? Hindu, shoot. What is this? Because this is the ego problem. Because we are egocentric. Because we are holding something, we are blocking our mind with some ideas, and we are living our whole life with that ism, this ism or that ism, this religion or that religion, this faith or that faith. That should not be. Freedom means freedom from this type of ideology, this type of ignorance. So the whole world, the whole universe, that is the full of ignorance, and we do not know that, and we need not know that. We need not. But whatever we know, we should be very critical about it, that something better may happen, something better I can know, something better I can learn. But what is the solution? This is my concluding part. Should we end with this conclusion that everything is ignorance and we are living in ignorance, so there is no scope for knowledge? We should not be interested for knowing? We should not be educated? No, that is not the intention of my talk. My intention is that we should choose the type of knowledge that can make me aware of the limitation of my ignorance. And that is the message of Advaita Vedanta. That is the message of the Bhagavad Gita. That we should know, we should have the mathematical sense of knowing. Mathematical sense of knowing is the highest sense of knowing in order to address the ignorance. How? Because mathematics teaches the forms. So we should not be worried about the examples. We should take the form. We should have the knowledge of the form of something, the structure of something. Oh, this is that. So then bypass the examples. We are very much interested with examples. We are very much interested with the fragmented ideas. We are very much interested with the divisions. We are very much interested in analysis. Analysis means dividing the principles, analyzing. Mathematics has also another element, is analysis. That part I am not highlighting. I am highlighting something in mathematics that focuses on the form. I should know the form. This is the form of life. For example, Pratitya Samatpada. Everything is every origin is dependent on some conditions. If you understand this form, that whatever has been originated, that is conditioned by something, then don't be worried about the examples. Yes, my body is originated, so my body, the origin of my body has some conditions. My mind has been this thought has been originated, so it must have a condition. So millions of examples will be accommodated with a form. So understand this form. Understanding this form is philosophy. Understanding this form is mathematics. And the expression of this form is literature. Literature is only interested to make us convinced about the form only. The examples are literally instruments. Rama did this, Sita did this, Lord Krishna did this. These are the examples of these are different stories. But what is the message? The message is the form of life. What is the form of life? Jivana dukkha. Life is full of suffering. This is a form. Science believes in form. There is a gravitational rule, gravitational principle. Everything will fall down to the earth. This is not an example. This is a form. But we are worried about the examples. My life is meaningless, or why you are worried about your life? Whatever will happen to all, that will happen to you. Everybody will die. So your son will die, your daughter will die. So you if you are really having knowledge, you are interested to have knowledge, have the knowledge of the form, not the examples. We are worried about examples. Many thoughts are coming. We are holding one thought and losing our happiness whole the day. Bypass it, ignore it. Hold them, welcome the new thoughts, because thought, that is the real sense of becoming. If there is real sense of, that is real becoming, we should enjoy that becoming. We should not hold at a particular being that this is my grayastha, and one day your grayastha will be gone. You are retired from service means you are also retired from your grayastha. Don't interfere in the life of your son and daughter-in-law. Don't interfere. Don't go to them even frequently. Leave them. Make them free. Then they will respect you. So we should give a free space to others, to son, to daughter, to son-in-law, to daughter-in-law, to my brother, own brother. But he is married. He has his own family. Make a distance. Make a gap. Pratyahara. That is called pratyahara. Neutralize your mind. Don't think that by doing that you are ignorant. If this is ignorance, then that ignorance is a bliss. Yes, I am ignorant. And don't tell me, don't tell me. Please don't tell me. When wife is complaining about daughter-in-law, don't tell me. Oh, yeah, at least you know, keep that in with you. If it's so much serious, then we shall discuss. We should not sit every day at a tea table for discussing about our daughter-in-law for hours. This is nonsense. That will destroy your mind. Rather, we shall write books, we shall write articles, we shall write columns. We shall, if that is not possible, we should roam in our imaginary thoughts. We should move somewhere. We should go with morning walk. We should live life. That is called practical ignorance, according to Sri Aurobindo in the last ignorance. That having these six ignorance, we are missing our life. We are not living our practical life in the perfect way. So logic is not enough. In logic has a limitation. Logic has certain rules. It has a deduction. Something is said, and from that you deduce something. This is a formal technique. Life is not that. Life is the real attainment of peace. Whatever I have achieved in my life, that is meaningless if I have not attained peace in life. If the last outcome is not peace, then there is no outcome at all. I shall die peacefully. At least I shall try. And that is possible by our knowledge. And knowledge of what? And knowledge of the form. What happens if we shall be interested in the form in the Platonic sense, it is the universal. If we shall be interested in the form, in one form, millions of examples will be accommodated. That means knowledge became condensed. One form, millions of examples. Another form, millions of examples. Another form, millions of examples. Suppose religion is a form. Example. If religion is a form, then what should our rational mind think? Now, what should be religion? What is religious experience? But what we are doing, we are already in examples. Hinduism is an example. Islamism is another example. Sikhism is another example. Then in Hinduism, there are again examples. Ganesha, Mahadeva, Sitala Sashti, then Ganesh Chaturthi, Jagannath. So many conflicts. Yes, they are necessary. Leave them at their own place. But as a philosopher, as a lover of knowledge, as a lover of wisdom, we should take religion in a very universal form. Oh, this is religion. There is society. Oh, this is society. Social norms should be like this. We should not be so much worried about this society, that society. They are natural. The difference will be there. If we are roaming everywhere, we are moving different places, then we should be very practical. We should be very natural to accept the social norms of different places. We should not complain. Complaining attitude is not required at all, because we know the differences will be there. But how can I adjust? Because I have the knowledge of the form of the society. I know what is social life. This social life, that social life may vary. I know what is daughter-in-law in form, not in example. My daughter-in-law, that is the problem. And this is daughter-in-law. This may be her character, this may be her nature. She will desire to satisfy her husband, to live alone, to enjoy some freedom. This is daughter-in-law. But we are worried about our example. My fortune is bad. I have a very bad luck. I got such type of a lady which destroyed my life, destroyed my family, destroyed my son's life. Your life is gone. You lived your life. Now you should go to in Vanaprastha, then sannyasa. Enjoy your life. Every life is individual. Every life is personal. Every life has its own account. Your account will not be audited by your son. You will take your credit, loss and credit, everything you will take that. Nobody will go with us except our karma. This is the final truth. If one has this knowledge, at least this knowledge, his life will be meaningful. Nobody will go with us. When we shall go, one thing will go with us, that is our karma. This is the highest knowledge form. By that we shall be karma yogi. We shall become a karma yogi. We shall do niskama karma. We shall do something for the society. My life will be dedicated for the society. So ignorance means, last line, ignorance means to mistake a partial view, a partial reality as the whole. Very simple thing. Then how can we solve this problem? At least in our lifespan, we shall try to have knowledge about the generality, about the form. Then there will be integration. Aurobindo said, knowledge is integration, integral yoga, integral knowledge. That means all the dialectics, all the contradictions, all the anomalies, all the conflicts will be merged in that oneness. That is the pure consciousness. So one should live in that pure consciousness state. One should not be disturbed by any interpretation made by others or made by himself. Even I should not entertain my interpretation of my life. This is my interpretation. And that was my interpretation at a point. This is my interpretation at this point. And so my interpretation may change after 10 years. So if interpretations are changing, why should we worry about interpretation? That is the teaching of Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta means the form, the final form. The final form is formless. Formless means no parts. That form. So at least we should, and the best example I gave, that is religion. From religion we can understand that yes, I am religious, means I understand the form of religion, the principle of religion, the discipline of religion, the goal of religion. Vasundhaiva Kutumbakam. We need a peaceful life, coexistence, living together, live and let live. These are the disciplines of religion. I understand this much. I don't understand that I am a Hindu. I should be. I said I am different from a Muslim. No, this is not religion. This is just the examples. So our mind should not be jammed with, should not be disturbed by the examples. These examples are philosophical interpretations. Even the great scientists, they also claim that our investigations are only time bound. Whatever is discovered today, that may be changed tomorrow. The best example is the Einstein's relativity. And we technically we are calling it phenomenology. Yes, we are living in a phenomenal world. Everything is the reflection of a human mind. It is only human interference into the reality. Reality as such is there. So with this I am concluding the sense of consciousness, that is one, that is a one and pure, that is full of bliss. We are marching towards that, and we find ourselves in different layers of consciousness as a body, matter, life, and different states of mind. These are the practical situations of our life. We should accept in that way, but we should not be disheartened living in a particular layer of consciousness, because we should have we should know that even in the lower, the higher possibility is implicitly present. I am that Brahma. I am that consciousness. So I should not think, I should not have inferior complexity that I am inferior to somebody. I am useless. My life is meaningless. I should not live. Such type of thoughts should not come to us. Yes, if this is called ignorance, that ignorance is accepted. That ignorance is bliss. So there is a chance for elevation. There is a chance for transformation. I am transforming day by day. I am getting my better version day by day. And ultimately, I shall be merged in that pure consciousness. That should be the motto of every human being. Therefore, there are four ashramas: Brahmacharya, Grahastha, Banapastha, and Sannyasa. In the state of Sannyasa, one should have crossed the all types of empirical allurements, attachments. If we at the stage of sannyasa means after 70, like this, if you are behaving like a young boy or child, then that means you did not live your life with education, with real knowledge. You should have that experience according to your ashrama, according to your station of life. If I am a brahmachari, I am a student, I should behave like a brahmachari. If I am a grahastha, I should behave like a grahastha. Grahastha is complete. I should go in Vanaprastha. Vanaprastha means the transitory period when mind will be ready for any type of detachment. Overnight it will be not done, so it will take some time. So gradually mind will be detached. That is Vanaprastha. Then when it is already detached, that is sannyas. If this elevation is not there in your lifestyle, then you don't enjoy, you can't enjoy your life. That should be. So ignorance is not the absence of knowledge. Ignorance is full of knowledge. It is full of knowledge. Just it is not open. It is not reflected. It is conditioned as like Panchakosa, Annamaya Kosa, Pranamaya Kosa, like that. I am not going to that, it will take time. Similarly, the knowledge is covered as sun is covered by cloud. So the knowledge is covered by the layers of consciousness. So kosas will be removed, pure consciousness will be rebuilt. Thank you all. We shall discuss in interactive session.
Yeah, thanks. Thanks so much, Dr. Das, for giving your brilliant exposition on the topic, the realm of ignorance. And today you have very excellently put your stand uh, on ignorance as revealed in different schools of Indian philosophy and Western philosophy. You have uh, you have said that ignorance is everywhere. It is in ethics, it is in metaphysics, it is in epistemology, everywhere, because we are biased by preoccupied thought, we are biased by preoccupied knowledge. And while discussing the philosophy, Western philosophy, you have taken the view of Bacon, of Bacon's idola, Descartes' method of doubting, and Kant's method of synthesis everywhere to know the limitation of knowledge and the source of the ignorance. You have also linked the Gita's view, Bhagavad Gita's view, while explaining different kinds of knowledge and how ignorance leads to the knowledge. So I do not want to explore all things that you have made in your the discussion for more than 1 hour. Basically, what you uh, put before us that it is the ignorance according to Sri Aurobindo. And you have made it very clear that according to Sri Aurobindo, ignorance is avidya. It is a separative consciousness. It is the consciousness of the egoistic mind. It's the consciousness of egoistic mind in life. You have made how that is how ignorance moves from that one kind of consciousness to other kind of consciousness, and you have made that ignorance is a portion of world nature, but ignorance is not full of the nature. And you have made it very clear that how Sri Aurobindo here has discussed the seven kind of this sevenfold of the ignorance, that is original ignorance, cosmic ignorance, and then egoistic ignorance, temporal ignorance, psychological ignorance, constitutional ignorance, and finally and the practical the ignorance. And you have given the different living examples of practical ignorance that we are facing in our day-to-day life. And you have also made that how to overcome the ignorance. You have made your stand. That's from your own experience, from your own vision, and from the writings of different the philosophers. And while you have made a very concrete conclusion in your thought that that is ignorance means on understanding the form, and understanding the form of life leads towards the that is understanding the knowledge and form of life. And the understanding the form of life will give us a way to realize the life. You have also made the house Sri Aurobindo made the a journey that is even that is you have made you have also studied the evolution and evolution of Sri Aurobindo's intellectual yoga, that is from matter. Sri Aurobindo has shown the path towards the spirit, and how in matter spirit is there. So, in ignorance lies the real form of the knowledge. And Sri Aurobindo wanted to cancel the sevenfold the ignorance, that is through his integral yoga, integral knowledge. And Sri Aurobindo's view is very that very uh, praiseworthy, and it will be benefiting to all of us to have a higher life, to lead a higher consciousness, and how integral knowledge that Sri Aurobindo has given. Sri Aurobindo given the path of that integral knowledge, and integral knowledge will mean the cancelling the sevenfold ignorance. And it is by the discover it is by discovering what it misses and what it ignores. And it means Sri Aurobindo has meant that the sevenfold ignorance can be cancelled by having the knowledge of the absolute. And knowledge of the absolute is the origin of all things. The knowledge of the self, it's the knowledge of the spirit, it's the knowledge of being, it's the knowledge of the cosmos, it's the knowledge of the self, it's the knowledge of becoming the being, it's the knowledge of the manifestation of the spirit, the knowledge of the world as one with us, and in every consciousness of her true self. And by this, we can cancel the division that is of knowledge. And Sri Aurobindo has shown a very beautiful way that we can have in our life. That we have said that what is the knowledge is, is, is a concentration, and it is the culmination that is that is in the living realization. And it is possible by having the relation of the presence of the one, the presence of the divine in our alls, in every cells of our body. And that is it must be done by the real knowledge, by pure knowledge, and the effort after knowledge. And you have made that how ignorance means to mistake the partial life at the whole. Sri Aurobindo has given that that making the partial life, we are making the and we are having this kind of thought, this kind of that is preoccupied thought in our life. That is why we are falling into ignorance. And Sri Aurobindo has shown different kinds of the knowledge, the knowledge by which that is all kinds of the practice, all kinds of the ignorance can be cancelled. And cancelling the cancel all kinds of ignorance will lead us to have a knowledge of bliss, knowledge of ananda, knowledge of the self, knowledge of the being, and knowledge of the absolute truth. Thanks so much, sir, for the beautiful exposition on Sri Aurobindo's sevenfold ignorance. And you have also made a very true picture of the Indian philosophy, the different schools of Indian philosophy and most philosophy in connection with ignorance, and to cancel the ignorance or to overcome the ignorance by knowledge. Thanks so much. Now, Professor um, Radhananda Behera is with us. May I now request Professor Radhananda Behera to have his observation and comment, question, or his whatever he likes. Radhan sir.
Thank you, Dr. Maharana. I have been listening to a beautiful treatise on ignorance by Dr. Pramod Kumar Das. It is really exciting. It's really illuminating to know about the depth of ignorance we human beings face and claim ourselves to be enlightened citizens of the world. What is ignorance? Dr. Radhakrishnan, our Indian philosopher, gave the beautiful definition. Ignorance is not intellectual error, it is spiritual blindness. The more you are spiritually blind, the more ignorant you are. We can go back to the father of philosophy, Socrates. He would go to a marketplace, pose a question, ask anyone who knows it. Everybody says it is so silly. We know the answer. But at the end, he went on putting questions and arrived at the result that confounded many. He started with a premise and arrived at its contradiction. That was the philosophic treatment of Socrates. So, next is we can come to Wittgenstein, the very profound philosopher of the West, the student of Bertrand Russell, and who for a time excelled even the master Russell. He gave a beautiful sentence: whereof one does not know, thereof one must not speak. That is, you cannot convince a man through your ignorance. It is like a blind man leading a blind. Therefore, it is better when you do not know anything, as Dr. Das gave a beautiful example. You admit it as a teacher, admit your incompetence, your hollowness, your ignorance, and students will appreciate it. This is a sort of intellectual humility. Nobody knows everything. I come across a sort of dispute between the second wife of Einstein and her acquaintance, another American lady. Mrs. Einstein boasted that her husband was the greatest scientist of the day, but the American acquaintance, the lady, quipped, still then, your husband does not know many things in the world. It is such a bombardment that actually humbled Mrs. Einstein. Einstein would have also loved, yes, my wife is wrong and her acquaintance must be right. Swami Vivekananda, because we come across Sri Aurobindo, therefore I am towing the idea of Sri Aurobindo with Swami Vivekananda. Vivekananda once said, knowledge can never be created, it can only be discovered. Whatever you supposed to be created has already been there. In the modern context, there is a phrase, deja vu. It is already known, or we know it already. So anything you speak as a new discovery, it is known to many people. Our seers, our saints, they were mantra drashtas. They know through their insight the truth of a particular problem. That is sought by reflection, by intense meditation, by profound spirituality. I come across Newton's theory of gravitation. When people appreciated him in his time, that you are so great a scientist, He said, I am like a schoolboy moving on the shore of an ocean, collect, drifting myself sometimes for a prettier shell or for a costly jewel, like a well shaped pebble. But the whole ocean of truth is lying buried in the sea. I am yet to know how many things are there unknown to me. So these are the reflections of great minds, present or former or contemporary. Therefore, when the Greek hero Oedipus wanted to go to the city Athens, he came across a gate, and on the overhead of the gate there was a peculiar human in animal and bird shape. What do you understand by Navagunja in our language? The face of a woman, the body of a lion, the tail of a serpent, and so on. It's a very peculiar combination of all the ferocious animals. Now, whoever wanted to enter into the city, he would put a question. I will allow you to enter into this great city if you answer my question. Tell me, the question was, tell me, who is that being, that animal, or that organism who walks in childhood with four legs, in youth with two legs, and in old age with three legs? That was a baffling question, and very few, and nobody could answer it. And the peculiar animal would pounce upon the human visitor and kill him. But it was the hero Oedipus who wanted to enter into the city and came across the problem. He said, it is so simple. It is human being, it is man. As a child walks, will lingers on the four limbs, two hands and two legs. When he becomes a youth, he stands erect with two legs, and when he becomes old, he takes the support of a stick, walking stick, the third leg. Then that was a sort of understanding between them. If Oedipus could explain the proper answer, that peculiar, devastating looking animal would jump on the floor and kill itself. And that the animal killed because Oedipus gave the correct answer. It is just an imagery. The peculiar looking animal was death personified, and Oedipus was the human representative, knowing that we as human beings, we do not know ourselves. So the correct answer is we have to know ourselves. Know thyself. And with knowledge, he killed death, and became life became invincible. So, who is a learned man? An English writer, Dr. Samuel Johnson, gave us another great idea. Knowledge is of two kinds. One, we know a subject ourselves, or we can know where we can find it. That is from our sensation, from our own consciousness, from our own being. We know it. That is empirical knowledge. And the inner knowledge, the spirit, the glowing wisdom that is lurking within every human body, that is not seen to us. And in the depth of our being, we know a subject, we know what is knowledge. And that knowledge is knowledge about yourself. That knowledge is knowledge about spirit. That is knowledge about your religion and then to your creator, the God. So these are some of the wonderful examples. As Dr. Das said, they are forms. Mathematically, I am a student of mathematics, therefore I would say forms are patterns because mathematics, when it deals with the numbers, there are several laws connecting them. Some are known from the very sight, some are deep, some are almost infinite to handle. For example, 6 has its factors 1 because 6 is divisible by 1, 6 is divisible by 2, 6 is divisible by 3. So 1, 2, 3 are 3 factors. Now the question is, there is a called composite number. You add all the factors 1 plus 2 plus 3, it is equal to 6. So is there any such number? Answer again is, you go on trying it, and the answer is 28. Next answer is 28. 28 has its factors 1, 2, 4, 7, and 14. Add them. It is
Hello, hello, sir.
28. So similarly, you come across another number which is not so easy. You come across such composite numbers, and that is a sort of pattern underlying the whole of number system. Similarly, and it's hello, hello.
Sir, sometimes breaking.
Uh, Someone is
Okay.
making a phone call. I'm not answering. If I answer, I may not contact you also. Anyway, now these are some of the uh, branches of knowledge which we can know by touch, by smelling, by hearing or listening. But the other deeper knowledge comes from your inner being through reflection, meditation, and so on. So the best thing is, Swami Vivekananda said, knowledge is not created, it can only be discovered. And he gave a funny example of Isaac Newton. He said, the law of gravitation was already there. And Newton was the man to discover it, to unveil it. It was locked in secrecy. Therefore, when you say that knowledge, at times it comes to the surface, at times it remains buried in our ignorance. When we know a subject, we can say, as Dr. Das referred to, knowing, and I think he said, I believing, yeah, I believe and I know. Belief, I believe, is something known to others. When somebody knows it, I think it is so. I believe it, subject to some criteria. So, belief of one becomes the doubt of another. Therefore, when you claim that I know, in fact, you do not know fully, you know partially. Because you yourself will know it. Others may not be influenced by your sense of knowledge. Therefore, the realm of ignorance and the domain of knowledge can be compared to two sides of a same coin. If you look at the face of one, you have to ignore the other, and if you know knowledge, you have to go forgo ignorance. Or if you discover knowledge within ignorance, then you are enlightened. We do not know until Einstein gave us the information that energy and mass, they are equivalent. Mass is energy, energy can be converted to mass. We do not know how a speck of dust, so insignificant, can contain so immense energy within itself. Split it, and you can see fire, heat, and light. That is atomic theory of bombardment. So, with the discovery of these small, invisible things, man becomes enlightened. And it is the duty of scientists to throw knowledge into something which is mysterious, which is unknown, which is also unfathomable. Therefore, the best thing would be do not limit knowledge. It is ever expanding, and we are still steeped in much of ignorance. We do not know how much we know about ourselves or of the universe around us. Many things are yet to be explored. Therefore, the best thing would be curiosity for a scientist or humility for a philosopher. When we combine these two, curiosity combined with humility, I think we can grow more knowledgeable than our predecessors. Thank you very much for the good discussion you have initiated. Thank you, Professor Das, also Dr. Maharaj. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks so much, Dr. Behere. Sir, you have made a very comprehensive uh, uh, analysis of the entire talk of Dr. Das, and you have also given uh, the views of the great minds uh, that is of the world, as and they are very the reflective in nature, and you have made you have given the views of Socrates, the views of Radhakrishnan, the views of uh, uh, to Genstein, views of Vivekananda and others, and you have also given the mathematical reflection that in uh, in connection with this thought, in connection with the discussion, and they are very benefiting to all of us. Now, I would like to request any other scholar to have their own observation or question to Dr. Das. Anybody? Madam, ये प्रज्ञा paramita, Pragya Paramita, you have raised your hand.
I am not, madam. I
Okay,
am
do you have any
sleeping.
question? Okay. Okay, have you any queries or observation? Please. Say.
Yes, sir. Pramod sir, I have a question. Can I ask?
Please ask.
Is knowledge the same as realization or not?
କଣ କହିଲ ଆଉଥରେ କହିଲ
Is knowledge the same as realization or not?
yes, you
Okay,
understand in
Pramita,
that.
Pramita.
Yes, Pragya, you
Yes,
understand
sir.
knowledge as realization, no problem. That is the real sense of knowledge. Knowledge as information, knowledge as inquiry. Similarly, knowledge as realization. That is the when that is absent, we fall into ignorance. Aurobindo spoke about 7 types of ignorance. The first ignorance is self-ignorance. In that, he is saying that man is ignorant of his own self. That means man fails to realize his own self. So knowledge is realization. Knowledge is realization is also called wisdom. Knowledge as realization is also called wisdom. Knowledge is not mere information. Okay.
Okay, sir.
If you
Thank
know
you.
something, you should realize it. Realizing it means you should practice it in your practical living. You should live accordingly. Knowing and living. You should identify yourself with that knowledge. You should behave accordingly. You should change your life after your realization. Otherwise, as we see TV shows, like that, we are getting many informations daily by newspaper. That is information. That is not realization. Okay.
Okay,
Thank
sir.
you.
Sir, I would
Hmm.
Yes, yes. Ask another question if you like.
can one be wise and still be ignorant?
Yes, every moment when you think that you are wise, you at the same time you should know that you are also ignorant because you cannot know everything. Man should be so humble to accept his own limitation that I know something. Even I do not know that something in the complete sense. There may be error. We should not grant our knowledge as the complete knowledge. So, therefore, Socrates said that I know what I do not know. I know that I know nothing. This is the human humility. Because, of course, Jaina system said that is Satvada, Anekantavada, reality is so complex by nature, one cannot have the complete knowledge. So, whenever we are making any judgment, we should say like this somehow, perhaps, it may be. In that sense, we should say. We should not conclude that this must be the truth. I know this, therefore it must be true. No. So, in every layer of consciousness, in every step of knowledge, Aurobindo says it is nothing but a layer of ignorance because there is a higher thing to know. Okay. Suppose there are 10 steps, you are in the fifth step, then fifth step is the knowledge so far as the lower steps are concerned. But that fifth step is also a step for ignorance so far as the higher steps are concerned. Is not it? So you are handling both ignorance and knowledge at every step. The more you are marching towards knowledge, the area of knowledge has been expanding, and the area of ignorance is destroyed. So that is the learning attitude. If you think that still I am ignorant, that means you can learn. Otherwise, you will be satisfied with your knowledge.
Okay, okay. Thanks so much, okay, Dr. Das, for clarifying the doubts of Pragya Paramita. Then
Uh,
anyone has
Dr.
any?
Marana,
Yes,
Dr.
yes, sir.
Marana, I may
Sir,
add
sir.
that a little knowledge is a dangerous thing,
Yes, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
and also it is said,
Uh,
when ignorance is bliss, it is folly to be wise. When you are satisfied with a little knowledge or of ignorance, nobody is wise enough to approach you to clarify your doubt. So, where ignorance is bliss, it is folly to be wise. Thank you.
sir, sir, sir. Then anybody has any question? Rasmi Ranjita, would you want to ask any question? Rasmi Ranjita? No. Sabari ma'am, have you any question to ask? Or any observation? Sabari madam? No. Then with this, we have to go to the concluding part. Okay. So today we have a very good discussion on the realm of ignorance. And when Dr. Das started with the Sri Aurobindo's views on ignorance and sevenfold the ignorance and the paths to cancel it, cancel all kinds of the ignorance in order to reach at the true knowledge, the absolute truth or absolute consciousness, consciousness that Sri Aurobindo has visualized. Okay, then it will take, actually this kind of discussion will take a long time to have an overview of Sri Aurobindo's views or Sri Aurobindo's vision on ignorance and knowledge. And Dr. Das has tried to have a very comprehensive knowledge on Sri Aurobindo's views, Sri Aurobindo's stand on ignorance, and Sri Aurobindo's views on knowledge or absolute truth. And he has also given different ideas, different thoughts, different reflections of Indian philosophy and Western philosophy to connect and to that is to extend the idea of ignorance and knowledge. And Professor, so I must extend my gratitude to Dr. Das, the way he has synthesized the entire talk in connection with Sri Aurobindo and other philosophers with the with the concept of ignorance and knowledge. And Dr. Radhananda Behera sir has given a very comprehensive view, a comprehensive observation on Professor Das' view. And today we have learned so much from Professor Behera, the way he has discussed the views of the great persons of our world, and with it he has also given the reflections of the mathematical idea and the other scientists, and who have shown the idea of reaching at the conclusion, reaching at the certainty that is to cancel or to overcome the ignorance. And today we have been benefited by Professor Das and Professor Behera as they have given their talk and observation. And today I must thank the student Pragya Paramita for her way of asking the question in order to be clarified by our learned speaker of Dr. Das. So I must extend my thanks to Pragya Paramita. I propose thanks to Rasmi Ranjita, Madam Savani, and others to be present with this webinar in this evening, and to make this intellectual platform meaningful and memorable. Thanks so much. And with this, I would like to request Professor Pramod Kumar to wind up the session.
Yes, the session is over, and this is declared closed. Thank you all. Grateful to all of you. Thank you.